Welcome back to Reap Your Roots, where I used to say we look back to better move forward, but now things have shifted. Something has changed. The purpose statement has been revised, actually, because there's been an evolution the past couple of weeks, months, of what Reap Your Roots is, who it is here to serve, who am I here to serve, and who this container, this community, this platform really has in mind. I started Reap Your Roots, the podcast, at least about 3 years ago. At that time, I was going to school for marriage and family therapy in behavioral sciences, psychology. I was leading businesses and sales teams and teaching about belief systems and believing in ourselves, different emotions, emotional intelligence. And I started it really as a passion project. I had a dream, actually, where I saw the symbol, that our old symbol of the person standing with the roots out of their torso. And then the name came to me when I had woken up of Reap Your Roots. So I started it not really knowing and still not even knowing what it's going to turn into. After going to school and having those businesses, I left school, I left those businesses, and I dove into the world of somatic therapy. I did yoga teacher training, got really into breath work, got really into movement medicine and a lot of the somatics, and then also really into the indigenous arts and learning about plant medicines and learning about the elements and learning about Mother Earth and Father Sky and different rites and rituals that are very, very beneficial and ancient, that also actually come from our ancestors. So it was all been in line with this original thought of what I thought Reap Your Roots was about, just connecting to our ancestors. It has all been an evolution and a rounding out, I feel like, the past 3 years, on and off, as I've filmed these podcasts, as we've done some events, done some men's work retreats, things like that. It's all led to this point, is what it feels like. It feels like a new beginning, a new dawn for who knows what is coming next. So Reap Your Roots is a co-ed community for men and women, and it is all about reconnecting to ourselves through emotional growth, ancestral healing, and nature-based practices. Now, back when I started it 3 years ago, it was about trauma-informed coaching and healing, obviously through a lot of the lens of Western psychology and through talk therapy. Reaping Your Roots, the idea of it was this nature and nurture balance, right? Nature being what have we inherited from our ancestors, from our family lines, what belief systems have come down those family lines, what emotions, what generational trauma, and also ancestral strength, which I've talked a lot about on this podcast. That's nature. And then nurture, this nature versus nurture, is our upbringing, what we grew up in, the environment, the feelings, the traumas, the experiences, the memories, the inner child, and really going through our own experiences, not just generationally, but our own through our childhood and adolescence. And always talking about principles and practices that can help us to do our integration work, to get our healing of nature and nurture. And much of those practices have been this nature-based or earth-based healing. And this community is here to solve a problem. And the symptoms of that problem may look different in each individual's life, but the root cause at the core of the problem is an imbalance within ourselves and the way that we relate to the natural world and to our inner world. I don't believe that the problem is that we are living too fast or too modern or in cities or anything like that. That isn't the problem to me. That is, I think, contributing a little bit to this imbalance or this disconnection. But I think that we can handle living in cities. I think we can handle a fast-paced life. I think that we can handle these modern times. Where it becomes a problem is when we are so out of balance, so in the extremes of modernity and fast-paced, that we have forgotten the essential essence of who we are, of our inner world, We have no relationship with that. And then also of the natural world, of nature, of our roots. So through this emotional growth that we are doing, we're really diving in and then also getting out there into nature and focusing on how both of earth-based healing and also our inner healing can come and how they can benefit from each other in huge ways. Reaping your roots, also tying us back to our ancestors. This is how our ancestors did it. Our ancestors, just because they had a relationship with the elements and with the natural world, I think that they could live in the day and age that we live in now. And they would have a lot to teach us. And in Reap Your Roots, we believe that they do have a lot to teach us, and we can actually access those teachings. We can actually have a relationship even with those who have gone on, and that it will benefit us in the present and extremely benefit those that are to come. In this new day and age, we're even about to get a lot more fast-paced with AI coming out. And not only is that going to transform this new technology of artificial intelligence, the way that we live on the external reality, but it's also going to give us, I don't want to say obstacles, but maybe interesting challenges or things to be aware of our inner world, where it can completely disconnect us from our own intuition and our own spiritual, emotional sovereignty. And so in order to integrate AI into our lives, we need even more so to have this relationship with nature, to have these principles and these practices that have been passed down by our ancestors and are actually awakening within us right now. A lot of people who I'm speaking with or who are joining Reap Your Roots are telling me about these experiences where they're waking up to the ways in which we can be in balance. We can be fully in the world, not of the world. We can exist in these modern times and still feel calm, still feel at peace, still, even if we have to work and grind and have the fast paced and, with raising families, children, mothers and fathers, and all of these things that we have to get done, how we can still find the rhythm of nature within all of that. We can find a slowness, a steadiness, a stability, a groundedness, a presence to be able to do more and move more. It will actually increase our capacity. Through these principles and through these practices within Reap Your Roots, it will increase your capacity to do more, because we're operating from a more foundational ground of being, our beingness. So if you are interested in learning more about Reap Your Roots and what I'm about, reach out to me. That's probably the best way, is just to reach out to me. I am open and available here as the founder of Reap Your Roots and also just another participant in it as I've been growing and evolving alongside it. And everyone who joins is a leader. You join the school community. There's an online platform, co-ed space for men and women. There's the podcast, there's my social medias, there's this channel that you're listening to this on, whether it's YouTube or any Apple, Spotify. I'd love to jam, and if there's any resonance there, feel into it so that we can continue to build and grow and evolve together in these modern times in the most easeful, graceful, and beautiful way. Thank you, much love, and keep smiling.